Hello, beautiful people. My name is Anastasia MacDonald, and I'm live again on Facebook here to continue sharing my life story, chapter 2, part 3. I'm here live again on Facebook to share with you my life story, chapter 2, part 3. Now, once again, I cannot wait. Good afternoon, Euphemia. How are you, darling? How are you, Queen? How are you, gorgeous? How are you, beautiful princess? Oh, it's time. Yes, it's time. Yes, it's time, my darling. You're the first person, actually. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, darling. I can't wait to continue sharing my life story. Good afternoon, Queen Elizabeth. Oh, Queen, the Queen is here. Her Royal Majesty is here. And you too. Thank you very much for your kind comments. Just to introduce myself, my name is Anastasia MacDonald, and I'm live here again on Facebook to continue the journey. So it's going to be chapter 2, part 3. Yes, you missed Queen Elizabeth. Where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm also glad for having you sisters on board. Trust me, you are the best sister queens in the whole wide world. You are so. I'm so happy to have you on board. I've never had such a wonderful family like you ladies. Okay, so anyway, so we're going to be, like I said, continuing the journey, chapter 2, part 3. Now, before I begin, I just want to let you know that I'm not just narrating a story. I am showcasing what the Lord has done in my life, where He's taken me from to where I am today. I'm not what I used to be. I have come a very, very long way. I have come. Hi, Paul. Good afternoon. So lovely to have you. I have come a long way. And hence why I'm doing these live stories, to showcase the hand of God, how He can take something that is so messed up. Good afternoon, Lady Nkuro. Good afternoon, Anne-Marie. So lovely to have you on board. So I'm here to showcase you of how God can take something that is so messed up and turn it to something beautiful, can turn it into master. Obviously, I'm not the masterpiece yet, but God has brought me so far. So far, I cannot even begin to tell you, but we are on this journey. So please, before I get into, the chapter 2, part 3, please hit your share buttons. Queens, please hit your share. Hello, Esther. Hello, Queen Esther. Hi, Temitope. Hello. So please hit your share button so that, other people can, watch it and be encouraged. I'm telling you, I have been at that place where I have received that message, that text, that video, that social content that has made the world of difference. It's almost between, I don't want to say between life and death, but I know I received something that has just made such a difference. Where I was done, I've lived. So hello, Terito, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hello, B. So yes, so we're going to continue the journey. So first of all, please hit your share buttons, and then if you do have any questions, please put them down in the comment section below, so I will answer them afterwards. Now, just to refresh your memory, for those of you who are with me for the first time, I've shared with you that my life story is made up of 3 main chapters. So chapter 1, 0 to 9 years, life in the UK, and chapter 2, 9 to 27 years, life in Ghana, and then chapter 3, 27 years to 53. So I'm 53 years old. So what I'm sharing with you is a life journey of 53 good years. 53 good years. And so I'm just going to ask you to please be patient as I share the journey. I do not want to rush it, because if I rush it, then I'll be doing I'll be discrediting you, discrediting myself, or most importantly, I'll be discrediting God. So please be patient and continue the journey with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens. Thank you very much. Okay, so once again, I will be referring to my notes because it's been a long time. So I've had to make notes so that I can, I can be cohesive and with what I'm sharing with you. Anyway, so just quickly, life in the UK. I share with you, my parents moved from the UK, from Ghana, to the UK, and my miraculous birth, and then the fostering period there. Chapter 2 was where chapter 2 part 1 was where I spoke to you about my life. Sorry, somebody's ringing the bell and it's distracting me, but I'm not going to get up. So chapter 2 part 1 was where I said, by this time my parents had broken up. My mom had gone back to Ghana. Dad had looked at the situation and said, I can't cope. So thank you very much. And so said, I'm going to send these children to be with their mom. We didn't know anything about it. We found ourselves in Ghana and we were awoken to the shocking culture of Ghana, which was so totally different and so foreign and so intimidating for myself as a 9-year-old and my siblings. So I shared that with you 2 weeks ago. Once again, Anastasia, I have to calm down. So I shared that with you about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then last week, I continued. Hello, King Gregory. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so last week, I continued the story with location number 3. I forgot to mention, just to refresh your memory, in Ghana, I lived in 5 main locations. So location number 1 was Bubwashi. Mamprobi. Location number 1 was Mamprobi. Location number 2 was Bubwashi. Location number 3 was Saltman, the boarding school. Location number 4 is where we're going to go into, which is airport. And so last week I left you at where I was in boarding school and all the experiences I had gone through there and how they were forming even more negative mindset within me. Hello, Fala. hello. Nice to have you on board. Mwah. And so I shared with you my life in boarding school, how traumatic it was for me. So traumatic. I don't want to repeat myself because it's going to take a long time. So I will repost those videos for those of you who are not with me. But what I do want to mention is that in secondary school was where I believe the deepest wound happened. I miss my dad so in secondary school. I don't know how to express it. I miss my dad like crazy. A deep hole was carved in my heart, in my mind, my soul, and my whole being, not having my dad. So, after at the age of 9, I never saw my dad again until I was, I'll say, 39. And I didn't hear from my dad. I didn't hear from him for a very, very, very long time. And it was secondary school, whilst I was going through, puberty, the puberty stage is where we are most vulnerable. And you need your parents like never before. Hello, Jumake. Hello, Victor. King Victor. Welcome, welcome. Lady Ola, welcome. Queen Ola, thank you for coming on board this afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in secondary school, that's where you're going through puberty change and all that. And so it's a very good afternoon, Victor. So that time is a very vulnerable period, and I needed my dad then. I don't know what it is between dads and their girls, or girls and their dad, but I'm telling you, I miss my dad so bad. And the fact that I didn't hear anything from him, and the fact that I had no one visited me, it made things so bad. So I'm not going to go back into there, but I'm just giving you a little bit of background. And so in secondary school, I believe that is where all the negative and unhealthy mindset attitudes were beginning to become stronger. They were being formed. You're not worthy, you're not beautiful, you're dumb, nobody likes you, you're a nobody. All these things were now becoming conk in my mindset. So let's establish that things are becoming worse, as per my mindset. Good afternoon, Deborah. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So we're now going to go to location number 4. Location number 4, which is airport. Airport. Now this one, oh my God. Oh my God, God is real. So anyway, at the time I was in secondary school, my mom had moved twice in Mamprobi. Then she moved to Bubuashi. And then obviously I was in Salt Pond. That's where my secondary school was, Infantman Girls Secondary School. I'm not sure whether I mentioned that in the previous video. So I went to Infantman Girls Secondary School, Salt Pond, in the central region of Ghana. And so I was on long vac, and I think I was informed too, and only to find that we have moved from Bubuashi to airport. Now, beautiful people, airport was an upscale. It was upscale from where I had previously lived. And I want to give you a little bit of background of airport. Now, airport, as you can imagine, was near to the Kotoka International Airport, hence airport. And the full name for airport is Airport Residential Area. Airport Residential Area. Now, the people that live in those days in the airport residential area were well-to-do, were those of the upper class, were those the children of the mamaba and dadaba. Mamaba, I don't know how you would say it in Nigeria, but in Ghana, when somebody is called a mamaba or dadaba, it means they come from a wealthy family. They travel abroad. They enjoy the best things of life. And now in those days, like I said, I think 2 series ago, those who went abroad were only few. There were only few, and the perception at that time was that those that were able to go to like the United States or America, Deborah, those who were able to go to the United States or America or the UK were considered a high class of caliber of people, so it was us and them. So it was up here and down there. The gap was quite quite big, of the haves and the have not. And that's where we moved to. So we moved to an uptown area, and like I said, the airport was close by. And you won't believe this, but you got to believe it. We moved to a one bedroom accommodation in a multi-complex house of the late Mr. Duncan Williams. So I'm talking about Archbishop Duncan Williams Christian Action Faith Ministry, the most prominent man of God in Ghana, Archbishop Duncan Williams. And I don't know whether any one of you have heard of him. If you've heard of him, can you let me know in your comment section? But that's where we moved to. Anyway, but at that time, the late Mr. Duncan Williams was a diplomat and very, very wealthy. Now, how my mom got accommodation from where we were, yes, he's late, Deborah. Yes, long time ago. Long time ago. Yes, a great man of God. Yeah. How we moved from where we were to the airport residential area, I can only tell you that it is God. God's hand is on every one of our lives. Trust me. It may seem God is not well, because this part of my story begins to make my life meaningful. That is when I look back on my life. So anyway, so we moved to the late Duncan Williams house, and we got a 1-bedroom accommodation there. There's a huge house there. Now, as we lived there, the Archbishop Duncan Williams, who was not that at the time, had just started his ministry. This man I'm talking about, he is a mega global man of God. He's one of great repute. But at that time, he had just started his ministry. And so, yeah, we lived there. I became, well, part of the family. The late Mr. Duncan Williams had made, quite a number of children, and he had nephews and nieces who would come and go. So it was a big house, and that became my house. And it's important for you to know that at this time, obviously, I've never known really what is called home. What is called home. Obviously, I've never lived in a real home because I never lived with my parents. If you go to story number 1, or series number 1, chapter 1, sorry, I've only lived in a foster home. I've never lived with my mom and dad. And in Ghana too, I was, with my mom, so there's something missing there. And then boarding school. But this time we moved to like a family setting. But the late Duncan Williams was divorced at the time. He was not married. But with the number of children that were there, the cousins, the nephews, the nieces, it kind of made it like a family. So I had this kind of false sense of being at home. This was now my home. Obviously, it was a very beautiful place. It was very, very upscale. So yes, I was happy and all that. Now, no, he's not alive. I'm not. Archbishop Duncan Williams obviously is alive. I'm talking about his dad, obviously, who was the landlord. Yes, the landlord. The landlord. So anyway, so Archbishop Duncan Williams at this time was just starting his ministry, and the ministry was located on the right side of the house. So on the left part of the house was where the accommodations and everything were, and then the right side of the house had been just converted into where he was holding his ministry. And at times, I would see, a few people drop in, and they'll come and see the man of God. And now again, I'll see people who come to pray. Now, as they started to pray, that is when God began to gently awaken my knowledge to his existence. Oh, sorry, Deborah. So gently, as they began to pray, so it started like that. So how do you say it? The knock, 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 Anastasia, I'm here. The proverbial knock, knock, knock from God started from Archbishop from Archbishop Duncan Williams' ministry. So people will come, they'll go, they come, they go. It was a tiny ministry at the time. And so I would see them come, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll just be like, okay, they've come, they go. They'll come, they go. They'll come and they will go. Sorry, they'll come and they go. And this was increasing, Now, the more activities increased with Archbishop Duncan Williams in his home at that side of the section, the more there was a consciousness and awakening of God. Now, the more it increased, the more I closed my heart. Good afternoon, Ifeoma. The more I closed my heart, I didn't want to know God. I didn't want to know God. But you know what? God was patient. Now, the ministry began to grow. It began to grow. More people were coming in. More prayer meetings were being held. And the voice of the Lord was becoming a little bit louder. And you know how it is back home. I mean, when it comes to noise control, there's no noise patrol officer, or there's no council to come and tell you that, you're making noise. Noise is accepted in Ghana and Africa. In fact, it's a way of life. It is a way of life. There's noise in the market, noise at home, noise everywhere. There's always something. Even if human beings are not making noise, the animals are making noise. The cockroaches are making noise. The chickens are making noise. The bears are making noise. The goats are bleating. The animals themselves are announcing themselves. So anyway, the noise began to be amplified with the prayer meetings, and so anytime that noise will be coming my way, something will begin to tug at my heart. But then something will begin to tug at my heart. But anytime it would tug at my heart, I would say within me, no. I would shut my heart to the noise. Obviously, I would say I know it as the voice of God. I would just shut. Yes, Deborah, even the heavens make noise. You're very right. You are very, very right. But at this time, I did not want to know God one bit. In fact, when I would hear, the spiritual activities or church activities that were going on, good afternoon, King Noel. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Thank you very much for watching. Anyway, so as the noise will be coming forth, I would just shut my heart. And in fact, there was a times I just felt it. I'll be so annoyed. I'll be so annoyed and be like, oh, that feeling like, can you please let me have a life here? I don't want to know you, God. Now, these things, I can say them cohesively to you right now, but at the time, it wasn't that way. It's me now looking back. It's me now looking back and understanding what was going on at the time. So the more the noise was, the more I would resist God. Now, can you imagine? Just try to imagine this. How come of all the places in the world, my mom found accommodation in airport residential area? How does that happen? My mom was still a single mother, not married. How does that happen? And not only that, I am positioned in the middle, not, let's say, a few miles away or yards away, whatever the distance is. I'm located right in the middle of ministry happening. How does that make sense? How does that make sense that God will put me? Yes, Deborah, airport is a very expensive area. Trust me, only the well-to-dos lived in that area. As a matter of fact, it's like you living in Kensington in London. I'm not sure how you would compare that in Kiev or the US, but it's like you living in Kensington. Kensington is very, very expensive. It's where the celebrities live, the British well-to-do and those that move from the United States. That's where they live, and in the UK. So that is where I lived. Now, I'm telling you, the ministry grew. Action Christian Faith Ministry grew. I'm not sure whether I mixed it. Was it Christian Action Faith Ministry? It grew big. And if you look up Bishop Duncan Williams, he was the first person to give birth to the charismatic movement in Ghana. He was the first man of God to give birth to the charismatic movement in Ghana. So I just want you to reflect on what I'm saying. Don't miss what I'm saying. Don't miss what I'm saying. So Deborah is saying that maybe not you as of them, but now your mind is wired or connected with the only voice that can change your life better. Yes, you're very right. God was doing rewiring. God specifically, and now I look back, God specifically put me in the center of Him to begin a deep work. If I'd been anywhere else, only God knows where I'll be today. Anyway, so the ministry grew and the voice got louder and my heart became even more stubborn. I'm telling you people, I did not give my life to God there in airport. I didn't want God in my life. And I think when I look back, I think I resisted Him because of what had happened in my life. Now, there's something I forgot to mention. Something very important I forgot to mention. By the time we moved to airport, my mama had moved to airport. By the time I moved there, I had learned new things. So, for example, I'd learned a lot of superstitions that were going on that was endemic in the culture. So I don't know about Nigeria, but I'm sure it's the same thing. In Ghana we have a lot of superstitions. So that became my way of life. It became my belief system. you know. So for example, if your hand is itching, it means that money is coming your way. If you do this, if you put your hand like this, it means that something bad will may happen to you. So the elders will tell you, don't lean with your hand like this, or don't offer your left hand to your elders, and all that. And the belief of ghosts. So I picked up on ghosts, I picked on superstitions, I picked on black magic, I picked up on death, because I'd never experienced this. In Ghana, I began to experience what it is to have dead people in the house. So if somebody died, the wakekeeping was done in the house. So I learned to see dead bodies, and my goodness, I don't know whether, maybe because you're not born in the UK, you may not really understand and appreciate the difference, But so I grew up in Ghana, learning all these things, learning to see, wake keepings, learning to go to wake keepings, learning about goats that may be chasing you, or maybe in your house, learning about tukpe. Tukpe is black magic, and how somebody will go and is doing you. All these became part of my belief system. So by the time I got to airport and God was doing all that knocking business, I was not prepared to listen to him. But all the time, whilst the ministry was going on, and at Archbishop Duncan Williams' ministry, Action Faith Ministry, and especially Sundays when they do their service, and the choir will be singing, my goodness, something will be tugging at my heart. Honestly, the praise and worship, my goodness, was something of another. I cannot begin to describe to you. It was something else. The praise and worship was just something else. So that began to tug on my heart a lot. And there was one song that they used to sing by Andre Crouch, Take Me Back. I don't know whether you know it. Take me back, dear Lord, to the place where I first received you. Take me back, dear Lord, where I first believed. And they used to sing that a lot, and it used to minister to my heart, people. But I'm sorry, God was not going to be part of my he was not going to be part of my life. So today is not going to be that long. It's just to let you know how God began to awaken my senses to him. I did not give my life to God then. I saw much happen within the Christian ministry. In fact, that was my first time that I was the first time I was so are you saying, sorry, Deborah's saying that okay, check your internet. Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought my internet had broken. So that was the first time I was really awakened to the things of God. That was the first time I saw how a ministry started small and became big. That was the first time I was exposed to prayer, because like I said, all I knew was the superstition, the beliefs, and the pouring of libation, the traditions of men. That is what I knew. And so this was the first time I was being exposed to the God side of it. And it was really phenomenal, because like I said, it started from nowhere. It started from something very simple, something very simple. People coming to pray with the man of God, to it growing till it became a huge ministry where we had a big choir. Many things were happening all in the house. Even the house itself was extended because of the growth, and I was there all the time. So people, yes, you're late, but you haven't missed much. I'm just sharing with my people of how I was introduced to God, and how I resisted, and I never did give my life over until we wait for part 5. I just want to know whether any one of you have got any questions. I'd love to answer any questions if you do have any right now. I don't want to be talking all the time. So please, if you have any questions, can I see it in the comment section? Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? No questions? So just to let you know that my mom was still single. My dad was not in my life because I didn't hear from him until I was in my late 30s. We lived in airport till I was in Form 5 until we moved to the last location, which is location number 5, which is Dansma, where I met my husband. So I witnessed, like I said, a lot when it came to the spiritual side of it. So location number 4, airport, is all about, Deborah's asking, are you in ministry right now? Do you mean, when you say in ministry, do you mean, am I a pastor, or can you clarify that question, Deborah, please? So can you clarify the question? If you're asking whether I'm in the fivefold ministry, no, I'm not in the fivefold ministry, but I have held a couple of positions. So I have been, maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself, but I have been the HOD of 2 choirs. I've been worship leader in London. A ministry, where were you called? I'm not sure I understand your question, Deborah. But like I was saying, I've been a worship leader in 2 different churches. I've been a youth leader. I have been, what else have I been? I have worked in the finance department. I am part of the transportation. I drive our church bus or church van. Okay, you said you resisted God. This is Jamaica asking a question. Jamaica, you said you resisted God. Would it have been easy for you to turn your back if you were not in the household? You said you resisted God. Would it have been easy for you to turn your back if you were not in the household? Would it have been easier? Probably it would have been easier, because like I said, the things that I experienced at the time from the zero right up to my teenage years have been so much that, I mean, why would I begin to trust a God? I was now trusting in the traditions of men. Yeah. Yes, Deborah, I drive a van, the church bus. I was just trusting in manna, because that's what I had been steamed in or marinated in, the superstitions of Ghana, that became my way of life, the traditions that became a way of my life, because if you didn't behave in a certain way, you know how the elders will discipline you. So I was forced and adopted and embraced the new culture. It became my way of living. So Esther Kunga is saying that right now she is doing ministry by sharing her story. Yes, you're right, Esther. I am doing ministry, but perhaps the other lady is asking whether I might be in the fivefold ministry. No, I'm not in the fivefold ministry. But I do see myself becoming like an inspirational speaker. That's what I believe God has deposited in my heart. That's what I see God has put in my heart. He's put some words in my heart. So after this my life series, I will be doing other series as well. So it's not going to stop. So I hope I've answered your question. So I'm not in full-time ministry. I have, like I said, I have led 2 choirs, and that is another story altogether. How God got me to lead 2 choirs. I'm telling you, people, you don't want to miss it. That will be in my story, chapter 3. How God can take a very quiet, intimidated, messed up child and put her in the front to lead people in praise and worship. That is another story. So God got me to do that twice. Being a youth leader, currently I drive the church bus. So I'm part of the transportation team. I'm also part of the media team in my church, where we do announcements. We do live announcements, which are then uh, played for the church after the service. So I'm part of the media team as well. Now, how I got into the media team is also another story. And yes, so yes, God has pulled me from the back and puts me in the front right now. But that is me, as me jumping ahead of myself. So yes, do you have any other questions? I mean, I was wanting that you would ask me more about my experiences rather than me sharing all the time. So does anybody have any other questions they would like to ask me? What it was growing up in the middle of ministry, right in your face. Yes, Ifeoma says, our God is awesome. Yes, our God is awesome indeed. When you look back from where I have come from to where I am today, Deborah says, maybe I need to watch your previous videos to understand your story from scratch. Yes, please. Please, if you go to my timeline, you'll see the other videos, the previous videos there. And what I will do is perhaps repost them. Elizabeth Ali said, God has a reason for putting you there in the forefront. Yes, Elizabeth, I'm telling you, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but God has put me in the most scariest, the most unpredictable places that I never ever dreamt, never in my wildest world, that God will take me from the back and put me there. God put me in those places, but I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I want to tell the story as it goes along. But yes, God has done a lot in my life up to date. Even by the fact that I'm talking to you, there is no way in a million years would I be sitting in front of a camera talking to you many years back. No, it will not happen. But this is part of the transformational journey that God has brought me along. Hi, Dorothy. Dorothy says, hi, I'm here later. I will watch again. Okay, see you later. Ola Martin says, God was preparing you for greater glory, and what he was preparing you for, I'm waiting for the rest of the sentence. Yeah, it didn't feel like that. I mean, like I said, for a long time I have learned negative. Let's say Hannah Taylor says that with all that you've experienced, how do you relate to the people, family members you went through this experience with? Okay, so that's a very good question. That is a very good question. How do I relate to the people, the members that you go? So as at now, I have four siblings. I don't think I've ever mentioned this. I have four siblings. The first three are with my dad, and the other two are with different dads. So my mom had, after us, she had two other relationships which didn't work out, which were failed. And so what has happened is that so there is, and you know what, people, I'm not going to beat around the bush with you. I'm not going to fake you. I'm not going to lie to you, because I've seen so much fake in life. Seen so much pretense in life, and it's not helping any one of us. So this is the deal. So the three of us are close, whereas the last two, we are not too close. So as you can imagine. So what happened was with sister. So I've got two sisters. Two sisters. Is it two sisters? Can you imagine? I'm asking you. So yes, I've got two sisters and two brothers. Two sisters and two brothers, and I'm the firstborn. So obviously you can understand why so much has happened. I remember so much, and so much. I'm carrying so much weight. So my brother and my sister obviously are from a different father, and then the fourth one, who is a boy, and the last one is a girl. Now we're not tight-knit from we are not a tight-knit family, and it is my mom's prayer that we become a tight-knit family. In fact, it's my prayer that we become tight, because I don't want to pass on the mess of the former generation to our generation. So I've been praying and working to bring the family together, even to the point that I've set up a WhatsApp page. So I don't think this will be helpful for any of you who are in the same situation. I've set up a WhatsApp family page where we can be together and communicate. And when I set up that page, I let one of us know that I'm doing this so that we can be one. We can forget about what has happened with our mothers, because you know what, the truth is our mothers don't have the information that we had. We are well informed, we are well over informed. Our parents grew up in the day of worshiping idols. That is what they knew. They grew up in the generation of pouring libation. That's what they knew. So what they had was barely minimum. They knew the God of the rain, the God of this, which was not the true God. But we, us generation, we have come to know God. We have come to know God. So I've taken it upon myself as a firstborn and as a godly woman to bring unity in my family. And if you get to know me, one of my passions is family. And I know sometimes, sometimes you can get so passionate that it can be overbearing. And sometimes, to be honest with you, sometimes my behavior towards my husband can be overbearing. And I'm being real with you. It can be overbearing it can be overbearing such that because I don't want us to go through what we went through. So the experience of my childhood, and which I'll talk about later. My husband too also comes from a broken family. He never had XYZ. So that's another story. So I'm very passionate about family. I guard family religiously, and I promote familyness, if there's a word like that. I promote family to the nth degree. I don't want to see breakups in people's families. I don't want that, because I know the pain of it. And I try to encourage people who are married, and there's no marriage without problems. Every marriage has its ups and downs. I'm going to lie to you and say that, I have a perfect marriage, but every day we are working on it. We're working. It's a work. It's a work. It's a work. There's nothing perfect in this world. We all are works in progress, But what fuels my energy is that there will not be children who will suffer the consequence of a broken marriage. I always try to encourage that whatever it takes for you to stay together, and that foundation should be based on the word of God. Yes, and now Elizabeth says that broken homes have become a huge toll on children. You're right, Elizabeth. Broken homes have become a huge toll on children. Hannah says that you've always been a wonderful woman. Keep spreading the good work, your honesty. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you very much. So, the pain that I have gone through, I will not wish it on my worst enemy. I will not wish that. I do not want any family to be broken up. I don't want anybody's children to suffer, because it has long-term consequences. Last week, I mentioned to you that to repair something takes a long time than to start something very good. As you can build a house, but then when you have to pull the house down and to begin to build it up again, it takes a lot of resources and energy. It is possible to be healed, but the journey is long. It is arduous. There are times you take 5 steps forward, and then you find yourself taking eight steps backward. That is the journey. But the beauty of it is that God has promised that he will never leave you nor forsake you. He's with you. The Bible says the righteous may fall down 7 times, but he will rise up again. Good afternoon, Nikki. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So for me, I'm going to be real with you on my videos. Pardon me. I'm not going to hide from you, because I've seen it before, and especially when it comes to Christians. Unfortunately, we hide a lot. We hide behind the scene. We hide our issues, our challenges, and the church also doesn't help. I'm going to be honest with you. The church doesn't help us to be real. But you know what? I am going to set a precedent. I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to let you know that God is the one God turns beauty from ashes. ashes, the things that are messed up. God is an expert in making beauty out of ashes. So if your life is so messed up, if your life stinks, if you didn't have the best, trust me, you are the candidate that God is looking for. If you feel that your life is not all together, if you feel that you have messed up your life so much, if you feel that you've got nothing to your name, if you feel that you are the worst sinner, if you feel that you're the worst offender, then welcome to the club. You are God's candidate. God is looking for you. Now, Elizabeth says here that one of my passion is to ensure unmarried people solve those issues before going into marriage. Well done, Elizabeth. I applaud you. I applaud you. It is so needed. We need people waking up to their callings. If I wasn't married married now, I will be so much with Elizabeth. And I'm still, even though I'm married, I'm still watching her videos because there's so much I can learn from her. Just because I'm married doesn't mean I cannot learn from her. Good afternoon, Queen TY. Hello, my darling. You missed. Good afternoon. So, you know what? It doesn't matter what another person you want to watch her video is like Queen Elizabeth, and you want to watch TY more as well. Hear her life story. They both share quality stuff that would encourage you. So I will put on my timeline TY Moore and Elizabeth, their stories for you to watch, so that you can be encouraged. So right now, what I'm saying to you, my life, my mind was so messed up that I didn't even know it. I did not even know it. I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware, because as a child, when you're put through traumatic circumstances, what you do is you learn to survive. There's something called survival mode. As a child, that kicks in. It kicks in automatically. So you just learn to survive. And that's what happened to me. So I took in everything that came my way, and I just learned to survive. But now I'm jumping ahead of myself. You cannot do, or things cannot do to me what it used to do to me before. I know I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way, as Joyce Meyer will say. So I'm speaking to you ladies, you kings and you queens, you royalty, every one of you. Let's stop faking it and let's be real. Let us be real. Let us be real, and let us see what you're going through, so that we can help one another. As a matter of fact, the most people who are hurting are Christians. And now you have your opinion to tell me that I'm wrong, but I've been a Christian from the age of 19 or 21. So I have seen, been there, got the t-shirt. And don't forget, I was right in the middle of ministry. I was birthed right in ministry. So I have seen a lot. I have experienced a lot. And we need to take a stand, beautiful people, in order for us to be healed and become the children that God wants us to be the royalty, to be there, to go and do business, to go and occupy and do kingdom business. First of all, we have to be real with ourselves. We have to be real with what is eating us up. We need to deal with it. And we know we need to go and seek counseling. We need to go and see a psychiatrist if possible. We need to go and get help, because the worst thing you can ever be is be a wounded healer. A wounded leader. A wounded leader. It was only a matter of time that you're going to be lashing those wounds on the people that you're serving. So even if you're a leader right now, go seek counseling. And I'm being loud and clear. I'm not ashamed to tell you that I have been for counseling. And once again, I really don't want to jump ahead of myself, but I have gone to seek counseling. And what I thought I was going to seek counseling for didn't turn out that. I have wept in my counseling chair, not understanding why I was weeping. Only one question was put to me. Now, Elizabeth here says that professional help is not the same as pastor's help, which is true. which is true, because sometimes pastors may not have the what's the word, psychological experience, or the expertise that those people in those professions may have. So you're right. So I mean, I went outside the church to seek that, and it was very, very helpful, very, very helpful. What I didn't know, I mean, I'm not ashamed to tell you, ladies. My first counseling session was a weeping session. It was a crying session. It was a crying session for about, I don't know, it could have been 45 minutes. It could have been 1 hour. I cried till I could not cry no more. And this was all boiled to my childhood, something I don't want to jump ahead of myself, something that was asked of me in my childhood that I had totally forgotten about, but opened the, what do you call that? Opened the well of tears. It opened the well of tears. I cried like no man's business. And as I was crying, I didn't understand why I was crying. I'm thinking, but I have this thing that I'm telling the counselor, I have told a couple of people before, and I've never cried. So why am I crying? You'll be surprised. So, kings and queens, it is high time. Elizabeth says that your nose hurts so much. Yes, you cry till you cannot cry no more. And I'm not going to play the fool here. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to set the precedent to be a real woman with real issues, with real solutions, with a real God, with a real purpose, with a real destiny, with a real calling, with a real life. That's who I am to you. That is who I am to you. I feel so strongly about. So I've already said to you that I feel strongly about families. I feel strongly about marriages. Marriages, because my mom had three failed relationships. So that should tell you the things that I picked up. I mean, what it did was it put a resolve in my heart that I am not going to go through what my mom went through. I'm not going to repeat this. I have been married for 26 years now. I've been with my husband for 30 years now. And every day or every year is a work of progress. It's a work of progress. There are no already made marriages. Everything is a work in progress. So T.Y. Moore says, hi honey. Okay, so he's talking to somebody else. Yeah, so I'm just encouraging us to be real here. And Lady Nikuru says, wow, thank God you took that lane. Yes, Nikuru, yes, it's time for us to be real. It is time for us to be real. Enough is enough. Enough. If we want to be the women of God that He wants us to be, then we've first got to do business with the things that are hindering us, the things that are blocking our this. And you know what? Something just came to my mind. We're going to be over in a minute. Something that comes to my mind is, it is the devil that is doing me. It is the devil's fault. It is that witch back in Nigeria. It is my mom. It is my mother-in-law. It is my father-in-law. It is my cousin. It is nobody. It is nobody. It is you. You have issues. You have issues. I have issues. We all have issues, and we all need to deal with them by the grace of God, by the special grace of God. And guess what? What a bet! And I'm going to announce it. Pastor Sunday Adelaja is a wonderful mentor. A wonderful mentor. He understands women like no other person I've come across. And like I said to you, I've been a Christian since I was either 19 or 21. Nobody understands women's issues like Pastor Sunday Adelaja. And also, I forgot to mention, Lady Nkuru here, who's online here, she also does relationship 101 for married couples, and I know, which is also helpful for singles. I'll also post her link below mine after the broadcast. So, and I know that she does a broadcast just before me at 1 o'clock. So she deals with relationship issues. So I will encourage every one of you to join her broadcast. Listen to what she has to offer, so that you will not take you wahala in your marriage. You'll be able to go in more smoothly without so many bumps and all that. Um, I don't know whether okay. Folashade says, quick question. You mentioned you were quiet and timid. How did you come out of your shell eventually? How did you get the courage to start speaking up? Oh, Folashade, you don't want to know. How did I do that? God forced me. God picked me from the back and put me in the front. And once again, I'll be jumping ahead of myself if I talk about that. If I tell you that that I put myself in front and started talking, I'm the biggest liar, because there's no way that could happen. God, sometimes I call him Jehovah Sneaky. God sneakingly knowing that I'm very shy, very intimidated, and all the rest, sneakingly put me in the first. So those, I was caught, I was trapped, I couldn't say no. And you will hear more about that in the chapter 3 segment. So life in the UK, when I'm back in the UK, you will hear more about that. So that is how and obviously I had to do it. I had to do it. Like I said, with the time when I was put in front to lead the choir, I used to hide back in the choir, and 2 times I was put in the front. You don't want to know, but you will know. So ladies, kings and queens, please. Yes, Jehovah Sneaky. Yes, Jehovah with me. He is very, because he knows me. He knows my frame. He knows I won't do it. So he's very sneaky. The sneaky daddy God he is. I love my God. I love my daddy God. I'm just jumping ahead of myself, ladies. Anyway, on a serious note, let me see. Elizabeth says that God will not allow you to rest at all. No, for me, he has not allowed. As a matter of fact, anything you see me doing is a result of God being sneaky, because I've already set my mind that I'm not going to go in front. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm too shy. I'm too quiet. I can't talk. I can't speak. I don't have the confidence. Before you know it, I'm there. So he has his way of, sneakingly putting me there. Elizabeth says, same here. I'm so stubborn. No. Yes. So, queens and kings, just to as I round off, please, let's go out there. Whatever God has put in your heart to do, go and do it. Go and be a source of encouragement to people. Go and be that light. No matter how small, no matter, even if you can't speak Fone. I can't speak Fone. I lost my Fone many years ago. Even if it's tiny, just start. One of my source of encouragement was T.Y. Moore. As a matter of fact, T.Y. Moore really encouraged me when she released her first video, her first broadcast on her experience, and I'm going to put them there. Like I said before, T.Y. Moore, Inkuru, Elizabeth. I'm not sure who else is out there. I'll put the links down below, and I strongly encourage you to join up to their live broadcast. So, beautiful people, I am going to be ending here. It's almost 3 o'clock. I've been talking for long. Thank you so much for being with me this afternoon, for taking time out of your busy schedules. I hope I'm making sense in my communication to you. If there's anything that you feel that I'm not doing right, I welcome your comments. I welcome your suggestions. I welcome your feedback. I am open to it to help me to be a better person. Maybe a better person. Nikuru says, Fonio. Yes, I welcome all your comments. So thank you so much for coming on board. Thank you for taking time out of your busy afternoons. Next week, I will be talking about location number 5. So that will end chapter 2 of my life. Chapter 2 before I go to the chapter 3. The chapter 2, which will be chapter 2, part 4, will be the dancer man, where I met my husband and all that thing that happened there. That is going to be what I will share with you. So, beautiful people, I love you. I love you, my kings and queens. You don't know how much you mean to me, how I'm learning so much from all of you. Thank you, you've been my strength. Thank you so much. And like I said, I'll leave the other links, the ladies that I mentioned, down below. If you have any questions, please post them. And thank you so much. Bye, beautiful people. I love you. Catch up with you later. Bye. Bye, you feel me? Bye, Fola Shade. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Love you. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.